You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the AOLL Cup Series tonight at Bristol. Tonight is our cutoff. I'm Josh Laston, and with me tonight is Mr. Carl Henderson.
Hey, Josh, it's good to be back. I picked a good race to come back for. I'm really excited about this one.
This is definitely, it is the last of the round of 16, and you know what? Bristol is an absolutely amazing track for the cutoff to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. As we've got the bubble drivers up there, we got some drivers that are going to get eliminated from the chase tonight, and and we have them on the bubble there, but I think of course, you get a win, you can advance, and we might have guys that aren't on the bubble right now suddenly be, on the bubble. So things can change in a hurry, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Well, and we are running Bristol at night tonight to where the track temperature itself is 84 degrees, which is really cool for this track. I'm hoping to see two lines form up. We saw it somewhat on Tuesday with the IVRL, and I'm hoping we get to see it again tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we've got qualifying going on right now, and got a few drivers that have already put their laps in. Currently sitting on top of the board, Mr. Josh Hanner. But hey, look at Adam Wood there on his first lap. He puts the second fastest time in, and second lap not quite as fast, but Mr. Adam Wood sitting in second right now.
And you know what? That's especially when you don't have to worry about completely ruining the car. That is the perfect time to push way too hard. And I don't know. Yeah, apparently Steve's just literally sitting on the track. So,
well,
yeah,
that was weird.
We get back to Mr. Sean Carmody, who's essentially out there running for fun tonight, but guaranteed would love to play spoiler, as the last two races, both of them that have been part of this chase have been won by Mr. Justin Anderson, who's currently sitting in fourth.
Yeah, well, we see that from Justin a lot, where it'll be like, he doesn't necessarily qualify. Obviously qualifying fourth is still pretty good, but he always just finds himself in the hunt there. So I wouldn't expect him to stay in fourth the entire night.
Oh, without a doubt, and he's looking for the hat trick. Honestly, I picked him as my win for the night on Friday on the podcast. I made a joke about wanting to give him the commentator's curse. It's only partially true, but I'd love to see him get the hat trick. And I will say the thing that actually is surprising me most right now is Mr. Derek Schilling, who was the fastest in practice by a full second, is in 19th.
Yeah, he had some real speed in practice. I guess he just, every once in a while you put together one of those magical laps, and I think he had one of those in practice and wasn't able to put it together in practice or in qualifying, but 19th, still not looking too bad, not looking too far off the pace.
Well, and we're talking about a very fast short track out there tonight, there's gonna be some chaos, and maybe he's holding back a little bit, wait until about mid-race tonight, move forward. All right, I can't keep up the charade. I actually talked to Derek earlier. There was a glitch.
I was having so much fun.
No, but he's definitely one of those. In the 150 laps that we have tonight, he's going to be one of the wild cards. We have quite a few people that are going to be exactly that. And William Klingbill, one of the, let's see if it'll actually not be screwed up. Yeah. As we are ready to hit the grid, actually. Joshua Hanner, let's take a quick run down the grid. So Joshua Hanner wins the pole tonight. Adam Wood is in second. Blake Gordon third. Justin Anderson fourth. Fifth is Brian McFerrin. Sixth is William Klingbill, one of the bubble drivers right now, and being anywhere near his starting position would get him into the next round. And then seventh is Joe Dinsmore. Eighth is Brandon Bernhardt. Ninth is Justin Rodden. And 10th is Teddy Weichel.
All right, in 11th, we have Steve Gottschall. 12th, Mike Bass. 13th is Kevin Pearson. 14th, Blake Ziti. 15th, Kevin Haas. 16th is Andrew Burgess. 17th, John Gordon. 18th is Tony Pandon. In 19th, Derek Schilling. And in 20th, Kevin Moeller.
And 21st is Greg Wellen, who would be my general pick to be spoiler tonight of Justin Anderson's fun. Apparently Bristol is not his track. Ed Springer's in 22nd. Timothy St. Jean is in 23rd. 24th is Mike Burgess. 25th is Sean Carmody. 26th is Greg the Juice. 27th is David Naughton. 28th is Don Warnke. And 29th is Mr. Dan Witt.
Yeah, Dan Witt.
Big Red back out on track. That makes me happy.
And hey, look at that very nice 45 car paint scheme of Adam Wood there. Repping Ghostfire Media.
One of the founders, so of course he's going to do that for us tonight. And he has a lot of practice at this track after running Tuesday. So I would honestly say he's going to be one of the most steady hands tonight, and he put over well over 200 laps during practice.
There were a few guys that put in a lot of laps during practice, because these guys get 2-hour practices. Honestly, they put in a lot more practice than I typically even do, and I think I'm one of the guys that practices more before the races than a lot of people. I think there are a lot of guys that recognize how important this race is tonight for advancing to the next round, and also to be able to potentially, if you get a win here, to be able to carry those points over as bonus points into the next round.
And Justin Anderson, with his 2 wins, is going to be doing that as the pace car does peel off, and we are ready to go green. And Joshua Hanner gets a terrible jump. Adam Wood is out in front of him. We're going to get to see how that high line does, and Adam Wood is going to clear Joshua Hanner as he is a little loose going through turn 4 and very loose coming out, and that's going to give the lead to Adam Wood, but we are under caution immediately for that.
Yeah, that might be because he pulled back onto the track. You can tell he was trying to stay off the track, but I think his back wheel just barely got onto the track surface, so
he was a little bit loose going into the turn, and once that back end comes around with that much fuel, it's hard to catch it back.
I had to take another look, but it looks like he clipped the apron a little bit, and that'll, certainly upset the car.
Well, let's take a quick look with the blimp, because that's going to give us the best line. No, he was already around well before that point.
But I do think that perhaps him hitting the apron might have finished it off, because look, he had it straight, but then as he exited the corner, I think it may have had the illusion of being straight, and then it just, he was fighting it in the car the entire time.
Well, I have a feeling with the 150 laps we have tonight, I don't think that this is going to be the last caution.
I think it's a pretty safe bet. I just see Hanner posted in the driver's chat that he can't hear voice chat for some reason, but 2 embarrassing weeks in a row for him. So that's rough, buddy. But it happens. Probably happens to me more often than most others. But
we all have those moments.
Yeah. No reason to worry about it, and we. But I want to go back and talk about that restart because, man, or I should say the start of the race, not the restart. I mean, Adam Wood just had an incredible launch.
Yeah, that was. We can actually.
Yeah, it's already messed up, I think.
Nope. We can watch it from right here. He was just already knew exactly where that green flag drops and was on it. Joshua Hanner was under pressure from Blake Gordon, and there's a chance that even with having Blake as close as he was, there was some arrow that may have caused that. And
yeah, and guys like Hanner and Blake Gordon are in unique positions. I mean, and actually a lot of guys like that the points bubble thing is a little messed up there because it was saying Adam 9th with 1 win, but that should have pushed him up a 2nd. So some issues there we still have to work out, but should still give you a general idea of where drivers stand.
And we'll go ahead and, if the guy who programmed it, the pace car is off and Adam Wood gets another great jump, and that's going to open up the door for Justin Anderson and Blake Gordon to immediately get up onto the racing line. And Blake Gordon is actually looking around the outside of Justin Anderson, and him having that top line, he should be able to get this move done within 1 to 2 laps here.
He's making it work.
It's not a great advantage, but it's enough of an advantage that coming out of turn 4, he should be able to be fully clear. And Justin Anderson's going to be able to get himself back up onto the preferred line and start taking away, as Adam Wood is now under pressure from Blake Gordon, who set the fastest lap of the race on that last lap, goes faster yet this time around.
And not just a little bit faster. Blake Gordon is flying right now, about a 10th faster than the rest of the field.
And he is right on Adam Wood. He's going to take that high line again. Get a great launch out of 2, and caution is out.
It's a big one. It's a big one.
All right, let's take a quick look. We'll start from the blimp, as the first one I see here is Andrew Burgess. And that looked like Blake Ziti just gets in front of him and basically collects the entirety of the field behind him. And, ooh, that one's, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look as, yeah, I can't. All right, can't find it. There it is. We'll take a look from the inside of Blake Ziti's car here, as he was just trying to drift up a little closer to the wall, and yeah, there's just carnage 100% from there. Luckily, all these guys have fast repairs. And
well, I would say though, I mean, I'm taking, yeah, I just double checked that Ziti definitely just drifted up there. Another one of those things that happens, but I would say if your car is driving in a straight line right now and it's mostly just like, aero damage, I would not take a fast repair right now, because you never know what's going to happen later. These guys only get 1 fast repair. So personally, as long as my car is able to turn correctly, I'm saving that fast repair.
Kind of correctly, at least. But that is going to make it to where a bunch of people have gone into the pits. To where if we actually take a quick look, we're going to see a procession out as there goes John Gordon, Kevin Haas back out onto track. We're going to be seeing Ed Springer, Andrew Burgess. There's Derek Schilling. We still have Kevin Moeller, Greg Wellen, Mike Burgess, and Blake Zede all yet to make their way back off. And unfortunately, it looks like they're all going to go a lap down.
Well, I'll tell you, you know who that whole incident helped right there?
Blake Gordon.
Well, I mean, it certainly didn't hurt Blake Gordon, but it massively helped Mr. Joshua Hanner. He gained back a lot of positions. He's running at 14th now. It's a lot better when you're able to just go around an incident and pass, 10 cars versus having to pass them on track. So that's really beneficial to him if he wants to try to get back to the front and get a shot at this thing.
And we can take a quick look as he's going by closely on this camera. Yeah, it doesn't look like the front end's too damaged. It does look like it's bouncing around a little bit, but again, it's not going to be too much.
Yeah, he had a slight bump on that right front, but yeah, you were saying that this was advantageous for Blake Gordon, and I definitely don't want to disagree there, but this is another opportunity for Adam Wood to get a great launch, controlling the restart from the outside. If someone like, say, Brian McFerrin can get up there behind Adam Wood, this could make it a lot more difficult for Blake Gordon.
Well, and you have to keep in mind also that Justin Anderson behind Blake Gordon is teammates with Adam Wood, who they can coordinate and make it to where he gets around as Adam is off quickly. Gets the great jump on Blake Gordon, but if we go to the blimp, Justin Anderson got left behind, and Blake Gordon is making a great crossover on Adam Wood.
Adam got a little loose there on the corner exit, it looked like, and lost some momentum, but Blake Gordon's trying to take it on the bottom, which is going to be a little bit more difficult, but he's trying to make it work right now.
Well, and if there's anybody that's going to be able to make that low line work for a pass, it's going to be Blake, who is going to keep pressing Adam up towards that wall on the outside and gets the job done, as Adam's probably just in preservation mode right now. Don't kill your tires. Hopefully we're going to see some long runs, and all of that fighting on the low line is going to hurt Blake after about 30 laps.
I mean, look, let's say all other things are equal. Let's say that all of the drivers are, driving, their inputs are as smooth as, all the others. Then even before they're going low like that, Blake Gordon putting on those fast laps, you would expect would be wearing on his tires faster than everyone else. So, yeah, I think that, if we can have a long green flag run, Blake Gordon might struggle a little bit later on.
As Adam is now the one taking the high groove and Blake is dropping down, he is seemingly dedicated to just gapping as much as he can on Adam Wood right now, to where he's running the racy line, what you'd run in qualifying, not necessarily what you're going to want to run right now. But he is only 2 turns away and about a straightaway away from getting 2 lapped cars.
Yeah, and I would never try to say that I know something better than Blake Gordon. There's a reason he is going low like this. And it could be that he's trying to gap Adam Wood a little bit, so that if he does have some issues getting around lap traffic, Adam won't be able to get up there and fight for position, because the last thing you want to do is get back in a battle. So maybe trying to give himself a little bit of a cushion here.
Well, as Adam Wood right now is starting to see that USPS car real close in his rear view mirror, and Justin Anderson is looking to take the fight to Adam Wood so he can move forward to Blake Gordon.
Yeah, but I have to think. I mean, looking at lap times right now, sure, I'm sure Justin's getting held up a little bit. You know, lap time wise, Justin's almost Blake's equal, but Blake's still faster.
As he is really closing in on the last car on track right now. I'm going to make a quick jump back here and take a look at Teddy Weichel, who has William Klingbill and Justin Rodden right behind him, and they're actually catching up to Brian McFerrin and Mike Bass.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. I may be wrong. Is this Teddy Weichel's first Cup race?
No, it is not.
Okay, so I know that he's been in the Truck Series for at least a few weeks, maybe a month or so. But I was just curious. I can't remember if he'd been in the Cup Series yet or not. But really good showing so far for him tonight. Running in sixth place right now.
And closing in on fourth and fifth, he's got that advantageous line. Only dropping about midway down through the corners, has a little bit of a diamond effect to it. Honestly, he's going to have the tires as William Klingbill is actually trying to threaten him just a little bit. And he's closing in quickly.
Well, Klingville's got a lot riding on this right now, and this is actually Teddy Weichel's first Cup race.
Is it?
Yeah, according to the standings at least. So welcome to the league, Teddy, and William Klingville's trying to give him a nice, warm welcoming party.
I could have sworn that I've seen him out here, but I also have the memory of a goldfish.
Well, and you've been racing him in trucks a good bit too, so I've probably seen him around there.
That's true, and had my fair share of battles with him, and he's a great racer. And honestly, seeing him in sixth right now at Bristol isn't too surprising to me, as I'm going to make the quick jump back as Adam Wood and Justin Anderson are neck and neck, as Justin's just looking for that little bit of an issue, and I had to jump there and say that, as there it is to where Adam Wood gets a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 4, and Justin Anderson gets the position, and now it's time to track down Blake Gordon, who's at least one turn in front of him and working his way through traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was about to say Adam might be sitting there like, come on, man, we're teammates. You didn't have to pass me there. But, I mean, Adam's in pretty good shape in terms of points. I know he entered the chase fairly far back, but after the chase started, he's currently in 8th in standings. So, in a pretty safe location right now to advance to the next round.
Yeah, he's definitely clear, as Blake Gordon's weaving his way through traffic, has a little bit of extra clear in front of him before he catches the 16 of Ed Springer, who right now is battling with, I'm going to assume, a lapped car. Yeah, that's Blake Ziti, who is fighting with John Gordon, and there's Blake making the pass down below him, looking to set a little bit more of this field one lap down. And
yeah, that's a guy right there. I mean, both those guys right there. Ed Springer on the bubble, Tim St. Jean not far from it either. So those are guys that, as you see there, they're fighting for position, but it's tough when you're having to let the leader by you, because you're fighting for a chance to get to the next round.
Definitely, but I want to jump back up to 5th. Misclick there, but right now Mike Bass in 5th has Teddy Weichel and William Klingbill hunting him down, as Brian McFerrin has put a little bit of a gap, but we're starting to see some stacked up right behind Mike Bass. As this is the battle for 5th all the way through 9th, as Joe Dinsmore gets around down below Justin Rodden in the background there, and is trying to make this stick and join the party.
Well, and William Klingbill needs this bad. I mean, he needs every position he can get, because he is right in the middle of the bubble. Came into this race 14th in points. So, yeah, he's going to be doing everything he can to try to gain every position possible.
Well, but the biggest thing that we need to keep in mind there is he needs to keep it clean where he's at, because where he's sitting, he's clear. There's no way around it. Right now, 12th place only has 15 points on 15th. So with him where he is, unless something happens and we have another big one that shakes these guys and moves them up front, he just needs to keep it clean and bring it home.
I agree. But I have to say, speaking from his perspective, it's always difficult to say, like, okay, I'm just going to go out here and clean race and hope.
As there's the next one. And he only ends up with a little bit of damage, but let's go ahead and see what happened here. Let's take it to the blimp as Mike Bass.
Trying to work around the lap car of John Gordon hit the wall.
Catches the wall a little bit. William Klingbill finishes him off. But I want to get back to live for one simple reason. I have a feeling we're about to see a pit stop for some tires.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Looking at lap times, you know, I don't know. This is actually, I feel like tires are given, but track position is so valuable as well. So I think we're going to see guys pitting as we see Blake Gordon pulling down low here. No real surprise there.
And is he going to try to fake it out? No, he is not. And
well, I think you know, more than anybody, Josh, I think you learned the value of good tires, fresh tires on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I know I certainly did.
However, the winner did not have fresh tires. He apparently just knew how to make the moves. And
yeah, well, you know, it happens when you got a bunch of guys trying to hold off the guys on fresh tires. But yeah, do you know who this caution probably helped out?
I'm not going to say this was a Blake caution.
No, I think this is another Mr. Hanner caution. I think this could potentially help him out as long as he wants a good, clean pit stop here. You know, anytime you can get the field bunched up when you're trying to gain positions, gives you an opportunity to possibly pass a bunch of people at once, as long as you can keep it clean.
And he's taking all four tires, and we're just watching the field go as he gets a great stop in comparison to everyone right there. And that's going to bring him out in 11th.
Well, and Derek Schilling stayed out. Derek Schilling stayed out, which is surprising. I believe Dan Witt is a lap down there, if I'm not mistaken.
He definitely is. Yeah. But right now, hey, that's going to be a bonus point for Derek Schilling, who unfortunately didn't join the league until a little too late to be able to make the chase.
Yeah, you know, I have to think he's, you know, again, this is one of those things where, you know, this isn't a race win. He's not trying to get a win here, but the goal here is before the next round of pit stops, you know, will this move have gotten him, you know, will he be running higher than he was prior to this? And I think the answer is going to be no. I think he's going to drop like a rock. But if nothing else, this is going to be a good indicator of what will happen if anyone else in the future stays out on tires. So, you know, lots of guys will be able to learn from this.
Well, but right now he is going to be a sitting duck as the lights on the pace car are off. It's going to be peeling off in a matter of seconds.
I have to think, you say he's going to be a sitting duck. I think he's going to be like a statue of a duck. I mean, he is going to be so slow here. Hopefully there's going to be no issues here. The leaders.
He is off. He does have a lap led in this race, but we're already seeing Blake Gordon and Justin Anderson on that low line. They're going to be able to get around him. The person that's being hurt is his Tuesday night semi-teammate of Adam Wood, who's being forced down to that low line. But right now, Teddy Weichel, Yeah, he's just going to drop like a rock. And William Klingbill gets a little close to him. Joshua Hanner is also right there and has to check up ever so slightly.
Well,
but,
and you know, we talked about Klingbill earlier. Like, sure, you want to just sit there and be patient, but if Klingbill gets stuck behind Derek Schilling, he can get freight trained. He can't let that happen. As we see already, that's starting to happen.
And, yeah, right now, Derek's running that very high line, and we're going to see Joshua Hanner, as he is now the person behind him, looking to get around, but Tony Pandon is there to slam the door. He drops down in front of Sean Carmody, but hopefully after this lap, we're going to start to see everybody just getting clear air, single file with that exception as Derek tags the wall ever so slightly. We're just now running pretty much single file, and Brian McFerrin is the last person under pressure in this first breakaway group, and he just has Justin Rodden right behind him. But Blake Gordon, holy mother, there is no one in sight even from the blimp.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to clear Derek Schilling so efficiently, and yeah, I mean, he is especially fast on fresh tires here. I mean, we've seen it. We saw it the first run as well.
But Justin Anderson isn't going to slow down. He does have nearly a second and a quarter back from Blake Gordon. He is going to be trying to do everything he can to at least close that gap ever so slightly. But Blake Gordon has already started to encounter lap traffic, and that's the 99. And Big Red just there waiting.
Ooh, that was a little dangerous. Yeah, I think Big Red's a little out of practice right now. I've been there, buddy. I mean, not as long as the time as you took off, but yeah, Dan Witt's struggling a little bit right now.
And that's unfortunate to see, because we all know that if it's not Blake Gordon, your other driver crush is Mr. Dan Witt.
Well, you know, he's a guy who likely, if he had been able to race during the summer, would have likely been in this chase as well. Wasn't blowing it up with incredible finishes or anything, but was having good, solid finishes.
Yeah, he definitely is one of the most consistent drivers in the AOLL, and right now we're seeing another one of those. If he shows up, he's one of those consistent drivers. Mr. Adam Wood, who decided to take far too many vacations this year.
Well, it still worked out for him in the end. He's in this chase, and that's one thing. I mean, I know the chase format gets a little bit of criticism and stuff like that, but if we didn't have this chase format, you wouldn't have, close battles throughout the field right now. You'd have guys that would feel kind of hopeless, and they would have, just dropped out of the season already. So, William Klingbill has jumped to the beds.
I was just seeing that, and perhaps he has a little more damage than he was letting on. Or he has gone through the best of his tires, and he's just looking for the advantage going forward, because
he was down on the apron. I'm trying to figure out what happened. He just pulled down on the apron. Oh, and caution's out.
And we have caution, and I'm trying to figure out. Apparently things don't want to catch up, and I'm just going to say it was Joshua Hanner and Tony Pandon. Let's see what happens right here as Tony Pandon gets around Joshua Hanner, and
a little bit of net code there, it looked like, but it's hard to say. I mean, Hanner definitely came up, but I think
Tony was a little farther from the wall than Hanner was anticipating.
Yeah. And looking back at William Klingbill, I am not sure what happened. He just slowed down and pulled off the track. Not a clue what happened.
Well, let's take this quick look, and that front end is looking a little worse for the wear in comparison to.
Yeah, but it still wouldn't explain pulling off. I mean, like, I have to think something technical had to happen. I feel like there because that car could have gotten around the pit road. I think. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if he had computer issues or what, but that's almost certainly going to end his his championship hopes.
Yeah, that's going to end his chase aspirations, and that just screams to me.
Well, let's talk about some pit strategy that's happening right now. This is where it gets fun. We got guys who came in the pit and some guys who did not. From what I can tell, actually, it looks like everybody may have come in. Apologies, it just took a little while to update.
Well, the one that I am looking for here is I'm not seeing Blake Gordon as having entered the pits at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if Blake had entered the pits.
So we just had a comment out in internet land, and Johnny has probably the best point. Maybe Klingbill was shifting and blew up in the process from overheating.
That's actually a good point. I thought that I had seen some smoke when he started slowing, and I thought maybe it was just, because a lot of times, you have particle effects, like if the car hits the corner in a certain way, but I think that's a very good chance that's what happened. It's a really good point, Johnny. That's really unfortunate, and the only thing I can guess is that, and I've done this before, he was trying to downshift down to third and went down one too many.
I've done it in turns 3 and 4 at Daytona on complete accident, and that's one of those that you sometimes end up throwing water bottles for.
Yep. So you were correct. Blake Gordon stayed out, Andrew Burgess stayed out, and Brandon Burnham stayed out. And from there on back, I think all of them pitted.
Everybody else is on the 2 pits according to timing and scoring. But that's a fairly significant difference in tires. I mean, we're talking about 23 laps difference. Some was under caution, but I have to think. It definitely is, as we are coming back to green and the green flag drops. And Andrew Burgess does not get a great jump.
Well, I think what happened is he had started to get out a little bit ahead, and then he had to brake when Blake didn't go, and that's exactly when Blake went. So sort of messed him up. But look at how fast Justin Anderson is right now.
And he is wanting to take this race to Blake Gordon. He drops onto that low line and doesn't quite have it in him to come up, get on that quarter panel. Blake Gordon used a side draft to slow him down. He's going to have to get a little bit brave if he's wanting to make that work with Blake Gordon. He abandons that low line the whole way around and is now just trying to keep pace with Blake, who seems to have that top line mastered.
Yeah, Blake's killing it on the top line right now. I have to say, I feel like Justin has to get around him quickly because you've got to use those tires while you got them. And the tire differentials are narrow.
There it is, as he just gets a great launch coming out of turn 2, and he's got the position, as Blake was just an innocent bystander on those 23 lap older tires. And there goes Justin off to the races.
We've heard Blake say stuff like this before where, I think he was kind of in a no-win situation here. I think if Blake had come in the pit, Justin could have stayed out. And there's a good chance that a lot of his Steel Horse Racing teammates would have stayed out as well. Blake was in kind of a no-win situation there anyway. Look at it. I think that Justin was going to do the opposite regardless.
Well, as the bigger issue right now is how many positions is Blake going to lose because of that decision? Because right now, Teddy Weichel he's down below as Blake's flirting with that wall between 1 and 2, trying to hold as much speed as he can. And Teddy Weichel is right there to where I think about 2 more laps, we're going to see him have that move done.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting a lot of pressure on him, and I mean, this is also having, forcing Blake to race a little bit harder than he probably wants to. So, and honestly, forcing Teddy Weichel to race harder than he wants to. So, whenever you're trying, you want to try to make a pass as quickly as possible. And if you're defending, you want to, hold them off and get them behind you as quickly as possible. So, side by side is really not good for either party.
Well, and the person that's getting the biggest advantage from this right now is Adam Wood, who, as Blake gets just a little bit loose coming out of turn 2, we have a wreck on screen. Is that going to bring out a caution? No.
Caution, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Caution is out.
Mr. Ed Springer gets a little bit loose. Let's see what happened. Just running that low line. Gets on the throttle just a little bit too hard, slaps the wall, gets it back straight. But as we saw the leader come by,
it's that he's spun out again. I think that's what actually brought the question out. It looked like his rear tire might have come on the track a little bit when that happened, and that's probably what actually brought it out.
All right, let's see what Blake Gordon does here.
I will say that was a Blake caution.
Yeah, and right now the difference in the tires probably has equalized at least a little bit more. But
but I think Blake's going to have to pit here. But this worked out about the best that could for him. I mean, if it had stayed green much longer, he would have just kept losing positions. But we really need to get something set up in OBS or in SDK to just throw up a hashtag Blake caution whenever that happens. People can tweet about it.
Well, and given that he's pitting under caution, we have the single pit road right now. It looks like the pit speed limit is the same as the pace. So Blake Gordon is not going to lose too many positions.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the pit speed's going to be slower, but it's also a lot, narrower radius, so he's able to get around the track faster. I think he's still going to shuffle back to
He's in 13th as he comes back out of the pits, which is going to be. We have a few extra takers right now who went in. Brandon Bernhardt, Mike Bass, Dave Naughton, Ed Springer, Blake Ziti, Brian McFerrin, who I think is actually just getting some damage repaired. He may be done for the night at this point. But right now, Blake coming out in 13th position on fresher tires than everyone. He just got to see exactly how that worked out. I think this is going to be Blake mowing through the field.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to see here. Again, this is almost identical situation. Much fresher tires, not as big a differential. We're less than 20 laps at this point, but pretty close. I think he's going to mow through this field pretty quickly. But the problem is he's got a lot more cars to pass than someone like Justin Anderson did. Is getting through that field going to just destroy his tires?
It will. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It will.
In the end, it's not going to be a bad thing. He doesn't have to get back to the lead. He just needs to get back up with that group. And then, at some point they're going to have to pit again, I would expect. I mean, fuel-wise, they should be good, I think. But, another caution's likely going to come out. And if caution comes out at the right time, they're going to pit for tires. At that point, we saw how fast Blake Gordon was. He's right back in this thing.
As Justin Anderson's actually backing up the field ever so slightly, getting ready to jump, and he does, along with his teammate Adam Wood, pulls him into second. That was a great move on their part to where Teddy Weichel right now, he's the one that is going to be under pressure from Kevin Pearson. But Justin gets a great jump, gets himself out in front, and I'm sorry, I can't wait to see what Blake's going to do here as he's on the outside of Timothy St. Jean, looking to make a move on his teammate Sean Carmody, who shuts the door, but Blake is right around him. Now looking at Steve Gottschalk.
Yeah,
now Joe Dinsmore.
I thought for a second when he got behind Sean Carmody there, he was going to do to Sean what he did to Blake Seeley in the Sportsman face. But all clean there. We're good to go. And Blake Gordon cutting through the field right now.
As he's now on the low line in front of Joe Dinsmore, pinches Joe Dinsmore right behind Joshua Hanner, who is fighting for his life here. And Joe Dinsmore has that low line. He should have Joshua Hanner gets in front of him, but Blake Gordon already back up to 6th place.
Yeah, I was concerned that he was going to have to use up his stuff to get to the front, but he's making it look easy right now.
As I'm just going to take a quick jump up to the front, Justin Anderson and Adam Wood have opened up at least a half a second gap over everyone. And Adam is just falling in line, letting Justin just run away with this as we are 104 laps into this race.
Well, so I just want to point out, right now Blake Gordon is 1.9 seconds back from our leader, Justin Anderson. So we'll keep an eye on that gap. It's already down to 1.85. We'll see if he can get back up there. I didn't think he'd be able to do it this one, but he may have made me a believer at this point.
Well, he is right now about a 1/10 of a second faster, but he's also running through traffic. So we're going to have to see what Blake Gordon is capable of once he gets a little bit of clear track as he makes his way around Teddy Weichel. And now it's Adam Wood.
Yeah,
Adam Wood is the next one.
It is now less than a 1.5 second gap to the leader, Justin Anderson.
This man is running hard, as we'll go with the chase cam, because Adam Wood looks like he's not even going to be a challenge.
Yeah, the tires are making such a difference. I'll be honest, I'm surprised some of the leaders didn't pit. They could be just trying to save their tire sets, but
I mean, honestly, expecting another caution to come out.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to think, how many tire sets do we have here? I can pull it up here real quick, take a look.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 replacements.
It's 4 replacements.
Oh.
So I am genuinely shocked some of those guys didn't come in, but only thing I can think of is they're thinking, okay, if one comes out around, like now, they're going to take it. And then if, caution comes out like, 15 to go, you're going to take tires there too. So they want to make sure they got tires.
Blake is now only a half a second back from Justin Anderson. I thought that the field was going to hold him up a little bit more than that.
Yeah, but this is actually fantastic for Blake because it looks like, oh yeah, well, sure, he used an extra set of tires. No, he didn't. He didn't pit when they pitted earlier. So he's at the same number of tires left as everybody else. So Blake Gordon, I mean, if he can get around Justin Anderson here, pretty quickly, then he should be able to start pulling away.
But Justin has the upper line to where those older tires aren't going to make as much of a difference, as we're just going to see these two just trading the position over and over again. And the longer Justin can hold Blake on that lower line, his tires are not going to make any kind of a difference.
Yeah, I think in the end, Blake is going to make this pass. But the idea here is, first of all, if you're Justin Anderson, you've got to try to hold him off and hope for a caution. There could be a caution comes out, you come into the pits with the lead, you're in a better position. There is a lap car directly in front of him. I think that is John Gordon. John Gordon directly in front of him.
Oh, that's going to play into Justin's hand, but John is taking that higher line. being a gentleman and not playing roadblock for his son. And you know what? I have to commend him there, even though it probably angered Blake ever so slightly.
I was expecting John to start acting like Chase Elliott there and throwing a block for his teammate. But very good racing there and letting the leaders continue to race, which is great.
Well, now we've come up to Derek Schilling, who is on First Response Racing, that quite a few guys ended up leaving to where they're now the First Response rejects. Apparently. But yeah. Blake Gordon gets the pass done as they made their way through the lap traffic, and now it's clear air for Blake Gordon.
Yeah, he's got a little ways to go before he hits Timothy St. Jean next car, but he's catching him fast, so he'll be passing some more lap traffic soon, but I expect Blake's going to pull away here, as we're already seeing almost a 1 second gap.
And Blake was obviously fast once he got into the lead earlier, so I'm gonna say this isn't the most surprising thing, because I think he may have been sandbagging ever so slightly in qualifying. It wouldn't be the first time, because he does love in the Sportsman Series to just not qualify, so he has the challenge of moving through the field. But he's just caught Timothy St. Jean.
Yeah, we're talking all that clean air in front of him. He's already caught Tim St. Jean. And it's not a knock against Tim. Tim's a fast guy, but Blake's just so fast tonight. It's crazy.
And he just wants to make sure that Justin can't get that hat trick. And now he's got about one turn before he hits another one of his teammates in Sean Carmody. And he's just tearing away. He's over 2 seconds ahead of Justin Anderson with 26 to go.
Yeah, at this point, if anybody's going to beat Blake Gordon, there has to be a caution or have to have issues.
Well, any of those are a possibility, but I'm going to make a quick jump back as Justin Rodden gets the pass done on Kevin Pearson, but there's a little bit of a hornet's nest right here to where all four of these guys are fighting for position, and Joe Dinsmore and Joshua Hanner are also right there.
Yeah, I was about to say, when you first said it, he had not made that pass yet, but he's cleared now, and Kevin Pearson about to get a pass by Mike Bass here as well.
And they're just battling it out, and Mike Bass on that low line. We've got enough rubber on the track at this point to make that low line work just a little bit better, and it seems like the person on the lower line is getting the position more and more as the race wears on with 22 to go.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be that the track's rubbering in, or it could just be that the guys, who with it being this late in the race, guys are pushing it a little bit harder. They know what their car will do down there, and they say, all right, I can get on the throttle a little bit earlier, I can get on the brakes a little bit later, and they're just a little more confident in what their car can do.
As we see, this is just turning into a whole mess of cars, and this is all the battle right now. As I'm going to take a quick look up here as Teddy Weichel and Justin Rodden, this is the battle for fourth position right now, as this is going to be the best one because Adam Wood, Justin Anderson, and Blake Gordon all have seconds worth of gaps behind them.
Yeah, and Justin Rodden's had a very quiet night. We haven't said his name a lot, but he's been consistently running that top 6, top 7. And he's fighting here for a fourth position. I think in a few more laps he'll have it.
As long as he can keep it clean, and we're seeing these guys on the low line, they aren't being as aggressive on the exit as, I would be. As they're coming up on Tim St. Jean, who looks like he may be blinking in and out a little. And that's going to make it to where Justin Rodden can get the move done, as Tim is off the pace and causing a little bit of chaos right now.
That wasn't good. Definitely a bit slower right now, quite a bit slower. But so far everyone's gotten through cleanly, and that's a bit of a miracle in and of itself.
As we're just going to take a quick jump up to Blake Gordon that right now the car behind him is Big Red and Dan Witt. And no one in this frame right now is even on the same lap.
Yeah, this is just incredible what Blake Gordon's doing. He's no longer extending that lead out. You know, he had reached almost a 5-second lead over Justin Anderson. It's about 4 1/4 now. So, you know, Justin's made a little bit of that back up, but it could just be that, you know, Blake's just kind of pacing himself right now. You know, not trying to use up his stuff.
Well, but that's just because right now he's also battling a lot of lap traffic and joining the party that we were just watching. As right now, Teddy Weichel is still right on Mike Bass. And we still have Joe Dinsmore, Josh Hanner, and Steve Gottschalk all right there. As we're starting to see Joshua Hanner and Steve Gottschalk battling a little bit. And Brandon Bernhardt's joining the party and trying to get himself up a little bit more breathing room out of that bubble that he's in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is some good racing here, but I mean, I'm watching the map right now. Blake Gordon's not too far behind these guys. I don't think he's got time to catch him before the end of the race, but it's pretty wild that he's about to catch those guys in the top 10 already.
Normally, I'm not one to ask for a longer race, but I kind of wish we had 200 tonight.
Yeah. I mean, this is some good racing now, but you know, hey, I mean, it's sometimes you know, the shorter, sweeter, you know, we'll see. You know, we'll have to see how it finishes. We still got 7 laps to go. A lot to happen.
Well, we've already seen 2 big ones, and there's nothing stopping us from having another as Blake Gordon makes his way around Tim St. Jean once again and is now just setting his sights on Derek Schilling and trying to get himself around. Does. How many people is Blake going to lap tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's it looks like everybody outside the top 12 is currently a lap down. I mean, it's incredible what he's done tonight. I you know, he's almost got a 7-second lead over second place. We knew that Blake was good at short tracks, but you know, Bristol's kind of a special short track. It's not it drives a lot different than Martinsville, for instance. And
well, it's not nearly as flat. The banking here is just absolutely insane. But with 4 laps to go, Adam Wood is currently being challenged for 3rd place while he's dealing with a little bit of lap traffic. But Justin Rodden and Andrew Burgess are right there on his tail, as Andrew's trying to use a little bit of that lapped car to get a jump. But we've got 2 laps to go, so as long as we stay green, we only have about 30 seconds more of racing.
Yeah, and this is Blake Gordon trying to get around Josh Hanner, you know, and Tony Pandon here. So white flag. I don't think he's going to do it. And if I were him, I wouldn't try to do it. I would just, but here he goes.
But he's got it, and Joshua Hanner is going to finish a lap down, and Blake Gordon just puts on an absolute clinic. And while we may have questioned his pit strategy, I worked perfectly.
I was going to say, I never questioned his pit strategy. I think his hand was forced, you know, but it worked out. I didn't expect it to work out, but it did. Just an incredible run.
And time to burn them down on the front stretch, and we have our results. And we only got about 50 minutes worth of racing tonight. That's reserved for caution-free races most of the time. So right now, Blake Gordon was our winner. Justin Anderson gets denied the hat trick, coming in 2nd. Adam Wood in 3rd. Justin Rodden 4th. 5th is Andrew Burgess. 6th is Joe Dinsmore. 7th is Mike Bass. 8th is Teddy Weichel. 9th, Steve Gottschalk. And 10th is Brandon Bernhardt.
11th is Tony Pandon. 12th, Joshua Hanner. 13th, Kevin Haas. 14th, Sean Carmody. 15th is Kevin Pearson. 16th, Derek Schilling. 17th, Timothy St. Jean. 18th, David Naughton. 19th, Blake Zede. And then 20th is Ed Springer.
21st is the Juice. 22nd is John Gordon. 23rd is Brian McFerrin. 24th is Dan Witt. 25th, William Klingbill. 26th, Mike Burgess. 27th, Kevin Muller. 28th is Greg Wellen. And rounding out the field is Don Warnke in 29th. All right. I have to ask Blake one massive question here.
Can't wait to hear this one.
Hey, Blake, this is Josh and Carl in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, you guys are a little scratchy, but I got you.
Well, you just have us down too quiet tonight.
It's actually I have you guys like blasted all the way. I don't know. Maybe it was some mic issue, but I got you guys.
All right, so I have to ask this question. It's been racking my brain the whole race. Were you sandbagging in qualifying?
No, if you guys were watching, I hit the wall on my first lap, and I had to abort it. Went out there for a second lap, and I mean, like, look, I mean, pole time was a 6:77. I was a 6:85, so like I wasn't really all that far off. You know, I was nowhere near Derek Schilling's 13.480 in practice. I don't know if you guys saw that, but no, I wasn't sandbagging in qualifying. I just I hit the wall the first lap and took it a little easy on the second just to make sure I got the lap in, so I didn't like gas it up as hard as I could have out of 4. And maybe that was it.
Well, I have to ask you, you know, we saw probably the pivotal moment, or it seemed like what was going to be the pivotal moment of the race was when, you know, you stayed out on that one caution, and Justin Anderson and a lot of other guys pitted with him. What was going through your head with that? Were you considering pitting as well, or were you going to stay out the whole time regardless?
Given the amount of laps we had run, I was like, I might as well just stay out. I don't think we put enough on the tires to warrant a pit stop, but I mean, you know how it is. I mean, whatever I did, they were going to do the opposite. So I wasn't surprised to see them come down pit road. I was surprised that the tires made such an immediate difference for those two guys. Justin got around me almost no problem, and then Teddy, I was able to run the top and hold him off. And then it didn't feel like the caution came out all that much longer after the one where they all pit. And then with my fresh tires, it just blew through the field. It was like, I did not think the tires were going to make that much of a difference given the amount of laps we had on them.
I mean,
are you surprised that, you know, on that caution when you pitted that they didn't pit?
No, I mean, I feel like at that point, hang on a second, let me go back.
I feel
like at that point,
it was
they
17 laps was the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think they, with them staying out for it to really be worth it, I think they had to pit again. But I mean, who could have, you know, anticipated the rest of that race going green? I would have thought that there would have at least been another yellow, and then that would have put everyone back on the same page, all on fresh tires for the last, you know, stint. So I was impressed and happy to see us go green flag there to the finish, because I mean, obviously the tire advantage I had then after that last pit stop really helped.
Yeah, it turned into nearly an 8-second gap by the end.
I mean, I don't know. This setup in the old Bristol, I mean, I'm sure you guys noticed the bottom was working tonight. Mm-hmm. That surface parameter change they made brought the bottom back, which is great because old Bristol's the best Bristol. So getting to run the bottom all race, and then you couldn't really run the top if you wanted to. I blew my engine in practice after 13 laps up there, so I didn't want to really run the top on fresh tires because you carry all that extra speed off the top and your RPMs are redlining halfway down the backstretch, and I was blowing up after 13 laps of practice. So I was like, I guess it's going to be the bottom. So that all worked out, though.
That honestly makes one other thing that we were kind of questioning. William Klingbill just went out randomly during the race. We thought it may have been shifting, but yeah, apparently if you were running the top, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably it. Other than that, the setup was great. The turn-in was fantastic. The way the rear would respond on power on exit was great. Didn't feel all too different from the stock setup, which I ran yesterday in one of the NIS races, just to kind of get used to what the track surface changes were like. But yeah, my only gripe was if you wanted to run the top the entire time, you had to pay attention to the oil temp. So not sure how they came up with a setup that, you can't run the top normally without blowing up. But I mean, overall it was great. I think it put on some good racing. I feel like if you wanted to run the bottom, you could. If you wanted to, try to pass the guy on the bottom, you absolutely could. You just had to be perfect, basically.
Yeah. So we get our points updated here. You finished this round in second. With this one win, you'll be entering the next round in second as well. How are you feeling about the next round? What do you think you're going to need to do to advance to the round of 8 in a good position?
Well, it's the track coming up in the next round. I don't even know off the top of my head.
Let's take a look here. It is Vegas, Talladega, and the Roval.
In the Roval, wow. Well, obviously Talladega is a wild card round. I either wreck or finish second at those races. So I guess just trying to lock down as many points at Vegas as I can, and then surviving Talladega, just trying not to wreck. But honestly, the draft package that they put on these things is terrible, so I can't imagine us wrecking all that much there. And then the Roval, same thing, just keeping it on track. That's going to be the key. I feel pretty confident in my road course abilities that I'll be quick. I should be up near the front, but I mean, those turtles will kill you. So you got to be careful. You can't, what am I trying to say here? You can't lose focus. Like, you have to stay locked in, 100% concentration every lap. Every time I've made a mistake on a road course, it's like when my mind starts slipping, I start thinking about something else. Next thing you know, I blew a break point and I'm in the grass. So you just got to stay locked in that whole race, not make any mistakes. And then, remember to check your tires for your pit stop, because that got me at Mid-Ohio. So,
yeah, I will be the first to say, having run the Roval way too much recently, screw those turtles.
Yeah, I don't like them. You've been doing Porsche Cup?
No, the most recent one that I did was the GT3.
Oh, yeah.
And I was actually surprised to see that those cars handled it worse than the ARCA car.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I only have 1 or 2 races at the Roval, so I guess I got to brush up. And hopefully the work schedule allows me to make Sunday nights now. That's going to be changing here a little bit, so hopefully I can still be coming out on Sundays and go compete for this title at the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was great talking with you tonight. Great run, dominating run. See if we get to talk to you again next week.
I hope so, guys. Thanks for doing the broadcast, and I'll chat with you guys later.
Thank you, sir. All right. Got to talk to who is probably a downtrodden Justin Anderson tonight.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard him downtrodden.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a downtrodden Justin Anderson. He's just too lively.
That's certainly true. I'm glad to know that I avoided your commentator's curse.
It was only partially there to actually give it to you. Partially.
Well, I mean, Blake was destined to win the race. Like, if the pit strategy had worked out on that one where we pitted, everybody else pitted except for him, that would have kind of been stealing one. Blake had the fastest car the whole race, so Carl's absentee pick should have won, so that makes a lot more sense.
So I've got to ask you, talking about that one pit stop, because this is something I said during the broadcast, something that Blake said during his interview. If he had pitted there, would you have still pit, or would you have stayed out?
I would have stayed out.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to do whatever he didn't do. The only way... I wasn't going to beat him on speed, so the only other thing I had to do was strategy. So I will say that the laps after he pitted and made it back up through the field, like going 3 wide with some lapped cars, I mean, thank God Blake has the racecraft that he has, because that was some of the most fun, challenging racing I think I've ever done in the sim. I've never gone 3 wide at Bristol with lapped cars more than once racing for the lead and survived. That was like an unbelievable rush for me. So although, yes, I would have loved to have won the race, I would rather finish second and be able to have that experience.
Well, that's the most gracious answer I would expect to hear from anyone.
Well, I mean, screw that guy. I still want to beat him.
It was still one of those great runs tonight that we come to expect from you. It just didn't seem... No one could have called that we would have made it the rest of the race under green.
I was surprised by that. I was pleasantly surprised by that. The fact that you could run multiple lines made the green flag running a lot more fun, because like when Blake, before, like when we were on relatively even tires, I would try to run outside and see if I could get a run down the straightaway. So it was interesting to try and run different lines. You couldn't run the high line forever on fresh tires, but as the tires got older and the lap time slowed down. So it was, I think that the fact that you could run the entire racetrack effectively allowed for more green flag running, because everyone wasn't just pinned to the top and trying to slide job everybody.
Well, so I've got to ask you, going back to the pit stops real fast, and anyone who's watching, I'm just asking like the same questions to you and to Blake. But on that, you guys had him kind of, Blake in kind of a rough position when he didn't pit, and he was falling back, and then another caution comes out, and you guys stayed out, and he pitted, and you guys, obviously we saw what happened. Blake was able to shoot through the field and pass you guys fairly quickly. Were you considering pitting at that point, or were you just kind of solidly like, I've already made my bet, I'm going to stay where I'm at, and
No, there was debate among the whole team about who was going to pit and who wasn't. I hadn't led a lap. Frankly, I was already guaranteed the next round because I had won, already earlier in this 3-race segment. So I felt like I could take a risk and try and stay out. And if a bunch of cautions came out and, I was able to control the restarts, maybe I could win the race. Again, being on the same strategy, if I change tires, I'm not as good or effective coming up through the field as Blake is. So he still would have won the race. Like, quite frankly, he would have been able to get through traffic a lot faster than I would have been able to. So I finished where I was supposed to. So I'm kind of fine with that. But yeah, I did consider it.
Did you consider just dumping him as he tried to pass you at any point, even fleeting?
I consider that every time I can see him. It's kind of like running behind you, Josh.
I know. But that is also one of the most rare things in the world that I somehow managed to get in front of you.
Oh, shut. No, Blake is genuinely one of my favorite people to race in this league, because, again, of the things that we were just able to do. I hope it's on the broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. But I would not have considered trying to stay in the lead in the middle of a car on the inside of me and a lapped car on the outside, probably with anybody else other than him. So, although yes, when he cleared me and I was like, oh, you know what? If I could just got the run off the turn, I could turn him, but I wasn't actually going to ever genuinely do it. No.
We also have to give some kudos to those lapped cars actually doing a fantastic job.
Oh, absolutely. They did it throughout the whole race. Everybody everybody left room. They would call out where they were going, pass inside, pass outside. So thanks to all the lapped cars throughout the race. And everybody we raced for position too. It was a clean race.
Yeah, so I want to point out, you knew this already, but we've got the points updated. You won 2 races. Whoop-whoop. Obviously, you're advancing to the next round, and you have some. You'll be starting the next round in first place. Next up in this next round, we've got Vegas, Talladega, and the Roval. I feel like you have to be a pretty safe bet to advance to the round of 8, but what do you think you have to do to make it to where you can hopefully get a win in this round and go into the round of 8 with some bonus points?
So 1.5 miles, so the cookie cutters are more my strength, although the last time we were at Vegas, Blake won and I finished second, which would be fine, actually. I'd be fine finishing second again. Talladega is, of course, a wild card, but if I would be willing to pay money to Hannah and Blake's for us to hook up again and do what we did at Daytona, because that worked out very nicely. So I need their PayPal account so I can set that up. And then recently at road courses, I've actually been doing a pretty decent job. I did choke on Wednesday at Mid-Ohio, but I still came back to finish 5th. So as long as I don't make a mistake that damages the car on those what are those curves called? Turtles or whatever they are?
Yeah.
As long as I don't wreck the car on those, I should finish reasonably up toward the front. I feel like if I don't know if Daniel's going to run any of the races, but if Daniel's there, he'll probably finish ahead of me. Blake will finish ahead of me. Chris Passini's really good on road courses, so if he's here that Sunday, he'll probably finish ahead of me. But I feel like I'm top 5-ish. So I don't feel like this round has a big weakness. Short tracks to me are my biggest weakness, so that's one of the reasons I'm so happy to finish second here.
Yeah, it's one of those things that luckily you're going through with some bonus points so you can have an issue. But at the same time, it's going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah. So Hanner's, like at Vegas, Hanner's going to be great. Hanner's going to be great at Talladega. And then there's going to be kind of a different mix at the road course. There are so many great drivers in the league. Of course, Joe's a threat anywhere. Adam's doing a great job. Steve, there's so many people who can run up front at each of these tracks that mistakes are going to be a lot more costly than one spot. So there's going to be that decision point where if I'm running third and I'm challenging for second place, how much of a risk do I want to take? Because if I drop back to 10th, that's a lot more painful in this league because of how many people can finish in the top 10, top 5, win the race.
No, it's going to be an absolute blast. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to everybody actually being able to make it. Hopefully Blake's work schedule will make it to where he can show up so we can keep seeing all of these wonderful battles that we keep seeing between you guys. And you don't just get a cakewalk into the championship this year, because I want to see everyone
there's no such thing
earning
as a cakewalk into the top 4. Not at all.
Well,
I do want to point out, Josh, that we are also losing to Kansas City. So I made fun of you last week. So we are also losing to Kansas City at the moment.
It's all right. We nearly blew it to the Texans. So anyway, I feel your pain.
But thanks for the broadcast, guys. I can't wait to go back and watch it. You do a great job always, so I can't wait to listen to it. Glad to hear your voice, Carl. And
Thank you.
I guess Josh, you too, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'll keep trying to give you the commentator's curse every week.
Appreciate it.
It's out of love.
All right, have a great night, y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we don't get to give him much of an opportunity to speak to us, so you know what? We got to bring up our GFM counterpart, because he was running the GFM car tonight, Mr. Adam Wood.
I really don't want to talk to him.
He
wants to talk to me. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing pretty good, man. I think you're probably doing a little better, man. Solid third place run tonight.
Oh, man, it was a blast. I really love Bristol. I had a crappy night on Tuesday night in IVRL, and I blame it on my steering ratio. I came back and did a whole bunch of laps and tested the crap out of it to figure out where it was good for me, and I think I had some really good speed all night long.
Yeah, we saw that you practiced the snot out of that car today. You had well over 200 laps. I think the only person that had more laps than you was Mike Bass.
Yeah, because he got into practice like 10, 15 minutes before I did.
But no, how was it running up there tonight and showing some true speed, and you're starting the next round of the chase in fourth?
I mean, it was great. Working with the team here, we're all trying to figure out what's the good steering ratio, offset, brake. So we kind of all started talking to each other, and I found that the bottom line really had a little bit more speed in the long run after doing numerous 50-lap runs plus, because I was hoping we would get that tonight, and we did. We had quite a few cautions there that kind of interrupted the true long-term runs that we had, but I was happy with the overall performance and the speed I had tonight.
So Adam, I got to ask you, man. We saw, early on, you took the lead, led. I'm trying to find how many laps you led here. I don't think it has it on the scoring, but you led several laps there. Do you think you really had a shot to win tonight? I mean, or was it basically, you just have third place car tonight?
So I debated on pitting. We were hoping that it would go green and we would trap Blake when he didn't pit with the rest of us. we were hoping we could trap him back and kind of go through. Looks like Justin had a lot better run, a lot better car on the long run than me, and I don't think I could have won. But you know, I debated in my head. I mean, our team was like, "Hey, we're staying out," so I was like, "All right, I'm going to stay out." But I debated in my head, should I go in, and maybe I can make a run back through. And I mean, Blake was the only one that was able to make a run back through. Andrew and I think Brandon Bernhardt pitted. They did. I mean, Andrew was able to come up to fifth, but Brandon Bernhardt really wasn't able to make his strides back up. So I don't know if it was worthwhile gamble, even hindsight right now.
I mean, you could have just followed Blake the whole way, and sometimes that's the best path through, is just let someone else punch the hole and just
sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, because the holes drop. People run different lines to let certain people by. I'm not one of those people usually park the ways for.
So you're saying that you weren't quite deserving of everyone's respect, but yet you still ended up on the podium tonight.
Oh, I'm deserving the respect, but not the Steve's parting type of way. Like, crap, but let me just move out of this way. You know, some people, that's how that feels whenever, you know, the fast guys are starting to run through the pack, especially, you know, you got 10, 15 laps of older tires, and he's got brand new tires. I mean, sometimes you just like, all right, you're going to get by. I don't want to waste my time. Here, take me on the outside. You'll get the run. I'm going to continue on my line.
Just know I'm one of those cars, Adam.
But no, I mean, I had a great one. Representing our Ghostfire Media there. Decided to run that one this week, and very deserving. Got to go out there and lead some laps. Get to show the paint scheme off there, and represent our wonderful team we got going.
10-4, man. Hey, a good run for you tonight. We'll see if we can talk to you again next week. We'll be at Vegas next week.
I think probably next time, if the only shot I really have left is Talladega. Vegas, not so much. The Roval, nope, I'm going to be in the back on that one. So my best, I'm going to have to put in a really good effort for both Vegas and Talladega. The Roval is going to be a challenge for me.
I mean, if you can make it, all right, yeah, there's no real wild cards. If you can make it into the round of 8, we do have Chicagoland, and we've seen you win there.
Yeah, you know, Vegas should be a good track for me. I just gotta, you know, see how it is. I'll get a lot of practice on Tuesday night. I'm probably gonna be running like 150, 250 laps. I don't know, something ungodly amount on Tuesday night. So I'll kind of get like the gist of how it's gonna run. That's gonna kind of help me out next Sunday night.
It's great to actually get to talk to you up here in the booth on a Sunday night. It was a great run, and
it's great to be the interviewee and not the interviewer.
That's why I wanted to make sure and bring you up here, because you know what? You were way more excited than you are when you're giving the interview.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it was a pumped up night. Bristol's like one of my, top tracks I love to run. So it was great to come out and actually get a finish I felt like I deserved. So ran great all night, and everybody else around me, we all raced clean. Everybody gave each other space. I mean, it was a great run for Bristol, especially getting that low line to work, but then you also could get that runs on the outside. So, this Bristol package was pretty good in my opinion, and the setup was actually way better than the Tuesday nights. I felt like you didn't get tight as much throughout the longer run. You're able to kind of still manhandle the car and keep it on the low line without giving up too much speed.
No, it's great to get to talk to you in this fashion for once. And looking forward to tomorrow night, getting to call the race with you. Oh, wait, no, we don't have a race tomorrow night.
No, tomorrow night. We get a Monday night off, finally.
Well, gotta have to, actually practice for the Sportsman since the chase has started there.
Yeah, I'll be doing I gotta run some 5 flag laps for Sportsman, try to get used to that in the trucks, and then start running the Vegas setup. So hopefully I'll have speed at both of those tracks.
I hope you don't on Wednesday.
Oh man. Well, Screw you too, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
All right. Well, real fast, I want to go through our standings since they're updated, so we can tell you who is advancing to the next round and who is not. Advancing, and these are in order: Justin Anderson, Blake Gordon, Josh Hanner, Joe Dunsmore, Adam Wood, Tony Pandon, Steve Gottschalk, Andrew Burgess, Kevin Haas, Brandon Bernhardt, Tim St. Jean, and Ed Springer makes it in. Eliminated are Kevin Pearson, William Klingbill, Don Warnke, and Jason Swan.
So, in all reality, we ended up not having any changes tonight.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because, again, we look at what happened to William Klingbill, and I'm glad that Blake was able to at least enlighten us ever so slightly on what may have happened.
Yeah,
and
that's a
the
bummer.
worst.
Because Klingbill's had a good clean season. I'm trying to pull up average finishes here. I mean, it's actually a little lower than I thought, but Klingbill's had a good run this season. So unfortunate to see a fairly heroic effort get wrecked in that way, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, that's just racing, and especially Bristol. Bristol is a brutal track. It's fast. It's hard to avoid incidents, and if the setup's just not quite there for how you run, sometimes it's difficult to be able to adjust yourself and make sure you're running it the way that the setup is allowing. And unfortunately, that's one of the disadvantages to a fixed setup, but as we covered on the podcast on Friday, I actually prefer fixed setups just because it makes it to where it's talent and adaptability rather than I had the hours to put in a setup.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. But great run tonight, and looking forward to next week. And hey, this week I don't have the tracks in front of me right now, but I know so tomorrow night we're off. Tuesday night, I believe we should still have the IBRL Butt Kicker Series.
We do, and that is Las Vegas.
Excellent. And Wednesday night, we are with the AOLL Sportsman Series at Five Flags. Thursday, the AOLL TNT Series is at Bristol. And then Friday, we'll be here on the podcast. Sunday, Josh and I will be here with you again
for another night at Las Vegas, and it's going to be a great week for us. A lot of people are just happy to make it into the next rounds of the chase, to where the Sportsman's just starting it. The IVRL and the Cup Series have just whittled everyone down a little bit, and we're starting to get into crunch time for a lot of these guys, so it's going to be a great time.
Yep, that's true. Well, hey, that'll wrap us up for this evening. On behalf of myself and Josh Laston and the entire Ghostfire Media crew, I want to say thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you much.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.